Pronouns, pronouns, xenopronouns, neopronouns. What's happening here? What is this? This video has been requested a bajillion times, which tells me that allies are deeply interested in affirming who we are and understanding our community better. So if that's you, if you're an ally watching this video, or an ally sent it to you and you're an ally, if your ally is doing ally work and wanting to understand, thank you. You're doing the extra credit, and we appreciate it. If you are trans yourself or non-binary and want a deeper understanding about some words that may affirm you, keep listening, keep watching. Pronoun is a part of speech. He and she are the usual pronouns that everyone grows up with and thinking
so far, so good.
Referring to one person.
Right track.
But of course, they refers to one person as well. Someone left their umbrella. They as one person. But there's more to this story than just he, she, or they. I'm non-binary and my pronouns are they, them. So if you were going to talk about me, you would say, Jeffrey is an amazing author. They are really attractive.
And very humble.
They being used in place of he or she to refer to one person, in this case, me. Because I'm non-binary. Neopronouns, literally new pronouns, refers to the creation of a new word, a neo word, to go in that slot. So a common one is Z. If my pronoun was Z, you would say Jeffrey is a brilliant thinker.
Again, the humility.
Z is one of the most attractive people I've ever seen. You'd say a lot of things, I'm sure. So that is the creation of a brand new word to put in the slot where he, she, or they would go. Xenopronouns, perhaps one of the most beautiful concepts, one of the most poetic ways to approach this subject. Xenopronouns refers to any pronoun a person has that is unspeakable, that is unworkable in the language of a person. So an example would be a xenopronoun would be a word. I can't even say it, right? Because that's the point.
All right, we'll stop there.
My God.
Tap out. Tap out.
Like you're just torturing me first thing in the morning. I'm like, I'm gonna have a
So, xenopronoun being a word you can't pronounce, even though the purpose of a pronoun is as a word you can use in a sentence to refer to someone by shorthand. Make it make sense. I cannot.
It doesn't. Anything after him inviting children to join him on a private site, nothing after that point in time, his content, none of it makes sense to me. I mean, let's be honest. The fact that people like you and I, when we speak facts on the internet and we get canceled, our stuff gets taken down, it gets banned, it gets whatever. But this person can come on here and spew all this BS. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, and I do find it ridiculous as well when they start listing things as pronouns that are by definition not pronouns. Like a pronoun is a different thing than a noun. This is like basic grammar. They're destroying our language. So if they want elf/elves to be pronouns, like, no, babe, that's a noun. You literally, you're breaking our language. You're making things up. This isn't how words work.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I just wonder what you think about this. Like, unfortunately, I think the truth is people are kind of tribal thinkers, and what they have an attitude towards the entire LGBT. Either they support or they don't support. I would like people to have nuance and say, I'm fine with gay rights. I'm fine with trans adults, but, I don't support minors transitioning. I don't support trans women and women's sports. I would love more people to have nuance. But the reality of the world is a lot of people are black and white thinkers. And when you attach this kind of thing, inanimate objects as pronouns, unspeakable words as pronouns, all of this just made up nonsense, when you attach it to our community and say that people have to accept it or they're anti-LGBT, I think a lot of people are honestly going to choose the anti-LGBT.
No, absolutely. It's either it's a huge divide, and it creates a bigger divide because it's almost people feel nervous to go against the LGBT because it might, they because of the backlash that they might face. But then it's the people that are completely against it, where, like you said, it just creates more hatred towards the community because the stuff is ridiculous when it comes to neopronouns, xenopronouns, and shit like that.
I guess what would you say to someone though who says, "What's the harm? It's just a word. Why not make them feel better?"
The harm to me is what was once a movement for acceptance, and kind of like what we touched on at the beginning of this episode of this podcast, was we originally were fighting for equality and wanting to fit in with society. And I feel like when it comes to the new pronoun police, the neo pronouns, it's become a movement of narcissism. Like, you're going to refer to me as this, otherwise I'm going to film you, I'm going to post you online, I'm going to have your business you canceled, I'm coming for everything that you own because you didn't refer to me as a buns, or whatever pronouns that they come up with on a day-to-day basis. And to kind of piggyback off of that, a lot of these people with the neo pronouns attach themselves to the trans community, and they say, "Oh, I'm trans because I'm non-binary, or I don't identify with the gender that I was born as." You're not trans. You're not trans. Trans, there's a medical definition for that, and if you suffer from gender dysphoria and you feel as though you want to transition into the opposite sex, or gender, I'm sorry, then you know what? That there's a medical basis for that. But to sit here and say that you have these xenopronouns or neopronouns and then say, "Oh, I'm trans," you're not, and you're disregarding the trans community who actually go through that process, and so it's just messy. And
Yeah.
I feel,
And I
yeah.
think you touched on something else there. I completely agree with you about the trans part. They're hijacking a legitimate medical diagnosis that some adults experience with their nonsense that has nothing to do with it. But also, they are trying to destroy things, not be gain equality and equal access to them. So it's like, imagine if instead of fighting for gay marriage, they fought for the abolition of marriage, right? They fought to destroy marriage, to redefine it, to erase the words husband and wife because they're heteronormative, right? And instead, we all need to use they, them for everyone. And we need to have new pronouns and totally rewrite our language. It's like, instead of about gaining equal access to society and assimilation, it's become a form of cultural anarchism where they want to tear everything down as we know it. And I don't think that's a realistic or pragmatic or well thought out approach to these issues.